Detroit Lions are at odds of 60-1 to win Super Bowl 52. They're at odds of 25-1 to win the NFC, and at odds of just about 7-1 to win the NFC North. Their season win total for 2017 is set at 7.5 games. In 2016, the Lions made the playoffs with a 9-7 record. They also ended their year with 4 straight losses, including a playoff defeat at the hands of the Seattle Seahawks. Down the stretch, the Lions played 4 straight playoff teams and struggled to compete, losing 3 of the games by double-digit figures. In fact, the Lions did not beat any teams in the 2016 playoffs, yet the future should be bright for the NFC North competitors. Matthew Stafford has a solid year without all-world wide receiver Calvin Johnson. Stafford finished the season with 24 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He also completed 65% of his passes last year. However, if the Lions plan to take a step forward, they will need Stafford to play at an MVP level. The return of Amir Abdullah from a season-ending injury should help out the running game. Abdullah only played 2 games and managed 18 carries for 101 yards. He led the Lions with a 5.6 yards per carry average. As a result of major injuries across the board, the Lions only rushed for 1,310 yards and 9 touchdowns last season. Theo Riddick led the team with 357 rushing yards. He also scored 5 receiving touchdowns. The Lions over-under for wins is set at 7.5 games, meaning the Lions will be on the cusp of making the playoffs. However, they will have to perform better than last season down the stretch. The Lions lost offensive lineman Riley Reef, who went to the Minnesota Vikings in free agency. They also lost a few players in the trenches on defense. Stephen Charles signed a 2-year deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Defensive tackle Tyrone Walker and defensive end Devin Taylor each signed deals with other organizations. These players provided depth to the defensive line. However, they were not the stars of the Lions' defense. The Lions hope their incoming talent can surpass the production from last season. Walker was second on the team with 4.5 sacks. Wide receiver Andre Roberts also signed a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. The Lions replaced their departed linemen with a couple of huge offseason signings. Ricky Wagner is set to become the new right tackle. He signed a 4-year, $47.5 million deal coming from the Baltimore Ravens. They also attracted guard TJ Lang from the Green Bay Packers. However, the Lions concentrated on the defensive side of the ball. They signed 6 high-profile defensive players in the offseason. Akeem Spence joins the Lions as a defensive tackle from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They also signed Cornelius Washington to secure the defensive line. Linebacker Paul Warlow and cornerback DJ Hayden also each signed 1-year deals with the Lions. The Detroit Lions have a manageable schedule throughout the year. They only have 1 set of back-to-back road games. Moreover, the Lions only face 2 road games against 2016 playoff teams. They travel to the Giants and to the Packers. Meanwhile, they will host the Falcons, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Packers this year. Matt Stafford has a handful of receivers to get the ball to this season. Golden Tate is averaging over 93 receptions in 3 seasons with the Lions, yet he has not had more than 6 touchdowns with the Lions offense. Therefore, they need to turn one of their receivers into a big-time playmaker this season. They only scored 21.6 points per game. With this offensive firepower, though, the Lions should be much better in 2017. Their defense needs to improve as well. They gave up 22.4 points per game. The incoming talent has a chance to make a difference for their 3rd playoff run in 4 seasons. So we'll go over the win total of 7.5 games. But keep in mind that this team has not won a playoff game since 1991. For our pick and prediction on this game and every other game this week, and a wealth of free stats and information, check out bangthebook.com.